All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the eventual release for the 16th episode, the finale for The Walking Dead Season 10. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on who we think the character is with the commas and the mask shown in the trailer for the final episode of the season. Do we think it could be Mercer? All right, how are you guys doing today? So in this one, we'll give our thoughts, starting with the character in the mask that we see near the end of the trailer for The Walking Dead Season 10's final episode, which eventually we'll get to see. And based on the numbers, it looks like we might get to see sooner than we might have thought, or at least in terms of the range. Likely, I don't know if this thing continues to kind of slow up or slow down in terms of its rate of change. Maybe, who knows, maybe in the summertime or something, or in the next couple months, if things really go well. So let's see how things go here in real life, and when we're actually going to get to see the Season 10 finale episode, episode 16. But I thought we would start by giving our thoughts on whether or not we think it could be Mercer. So from The Walking Dead Volume 30 comic book series, we have a New World Order. We have a member of the Commonwealth here with the mask and everything, the gear all on, and you've got Eugene there and the visor and some of the others, which is pretty cool. And so, we're getting into the storyline now for the Walking Dead television series. Now, in this one, in the trailer, he runs into Aaron and Alden, and it looks like he might actually, confront them or possibly help them. Now, he has what are called commas, which are kind of cool weapons, ninja weapons, right? Whatever. So people want to know right away, well, Trev, who do you think it is? Now, I've got some comments here from a few different people thinking, could be Mercer. Now, who Mercer is a character from the Commonwealth in the Walking Dead comic book series right here, and he has throwing axes, which you can see there, that he throws an axe and it hits a walker in the head. Now, Eugene and the others are kind of going to the Commonwealth, so they're in a totally different location. So where Alden and Aaron are right now, whoever they're running into there, it's possible because Eugene kind of gave up their location, and I forget how close of a location he gave in terms of what was said on the radio to Stephanie and how much info he gave out. But is it possible that even though he's going to visit Stephanie now, possibly with them being late, that the Commonwealth could have sent out another group to scout their home base or to scout and see how they live or what their lives are like, or something like this. Here's a part with Mercer, and there's a whole bunch of zombies, walkers that are dead here from his throwing knives, which is pretty cool. And he's got kind of the orange gear on. So this character we see in the Walking Dead television series doesn't have the orange type gear. Maybe that would look kind of silly in the Walking Dead television series. Granted, they did do the princess basically the same, the pink and purple and everything, purple hair dye and the whole bit. So it's possible, I suppose, that that it could still be Mercer, and maybe they just decided not to go with the orange because it was a little bit, maybe, a little bit silly looking for his armor or something like this. Or it's possible it could be another new character that maybe isn't from the Commonwealth or something like that. But when I see the gear and I see something like this, it does remind me a lot of the Commonwealth. So, and here you have Mercer again here too. Don't move, and he's got kind of the throwing axe. So maybe they thought that maybe doing commas would be kind of cooler than throwing axes and whatnot, and I think they kind of are. But if it is Mercer, he's not as bulky as I would picture the Walking Dead comic book series version of him to be. So it's like I said, it's also possible it's a new character, maybe from the Commonwealth or maybe from somewhere else, and and that Mercer will end up being another character here additional to that, because we do have to keep in mind they do add in some additional characters here and possibly some of their own kind of new ones, but to a degree, I'd say that this character that we're seeing in the Walking Dead TV series appear here with the mask and the hood and everything, to a degree, it does have kind of a Commonwealth type of vibe to me, especially with the mask and the helmet and everything like that on. Like this character, as I suppose I think it's a guy, I suppose we shouldn't totally write off the possibility it could be a female, but it does kind of look like a guy to me. So that's what I would go with for now. Is I think the Mercer idea is not a bad idea. It's maybe about halfway there. It's a little loose fitting, but the commas are a little bit close to throwing axes. I don't know if do you typically throw commas or not? I don't know. They're kind of cool in some ways. I was looking online, like to if someone went to strike you or something, you could use them to kind of block and catch and do some different kind of cool. There's some different cool techniques you can do with them, which is kind of cool for those of you guys who are into that weapons and whatnot. So yeah, but I do think it is a new character. I don't think it's somebody that we know, like someone like someone said Connie. I don't know how Connie would learn that and get all that gear in the meantime. No, I think it's safe to say it's probably not Connie or anybody like Morgan or anybody like that. Thomas Nocter has said, Trev, do you think that ninja could be Mercer? And then he put hashtags got your back. Yeah, I think it probably is Mercer or someone from the Commonwealth, and maybe they sent them out to scout. Or it could be, if Maggie's not the Commonwealth, it could be one of her people, like a replacement for Dante or somebody like that. Because Dante in the TV series was a villain, so maybe it could be somebody from one of Maggie's groups. If the scene of her reading the thing is from the intro, then maybe she does come to the rescue later on, and maybe that's one of her lieutenant soldiers or best fighters that she has from Georgie's group, something like that. That could be kind of cool. Amaze Ultra says, Q&A Trev, I feel like the guy in the mask could possibly be Mercer if the timing lines up. His weapons are similar in the comics somewhat. And he is a very good fighter, which is shown in his confidence in the promo. Also, if the Commonwealth is the one with the helicopter, it would allow them to reach the tower much faster, possibly within time. What are your thoughts? Well, we don't know also if the place that we don't know if Stephanie is part of the same group as Maggie. I'm kind of right now under the impression that Stephanie's probably from a different community than Maggie is. So that Maggie's with right now with Georgie. So we probably have a couple different things going on here. We probably have, and then there's the CRM out there too, which we'll probably get to in World Beyond or in the movies or something. So you have a few different groups out here. I guess it's possible Maggie could be at the same community as Eugene is going to visit right now, but I just view it as like, it's probably two separate communities, wouldn't you guys think? What would be the big deal of a big reveal of Eugene getting to see Stephanie and all that if Maggie was already there? It seems to me it probably fits a little bit better if Maggie is with one group and then the Commonwealth is with Stephanie and is a different group, like if they're separate. Something like that. So it could be a new character from either one, a replacement for Dante, or yes, it could be Mercer. That's a good idea, or someone else from those either of those communities. We'll see. Weapon X100 says, Walking Dead comics seemed aimless after the Whisperer War, hoping the show wraps it up by bringing all the storylines to conclusion by season 12. Well, I like his Wolverine Weapon X his display. I'm a huge fan of Wolverine in the 90s and Weapon X and everything. But for me personally, I'm not... let's see. Okay, so I'd like to see it go on further than season 12. As you guys know, I've given my thoughts. I'd like to get a season 13 if we can. I think that'd be really good. Past that, okay, if they wanted it after that, fine. But I'd like to get a 13 if we can. Then the other part of what you said here, so the comic not being quite as good after the Whisperer War, that's kind of I guess I would say that's kind of universally, I almost want to say accepted, that maybe the Commonwealth story arc and the New World Order stuff maybe wasn't quite as strong as the Whisperers. Now, the TV series, we'll have to see if that's the same, because things in the TV series universe, they don't always translate the same as from the comics, and usually they're different to a degree. Like usually some of the best parts of the comics in the TV series were like, and then some of the stuff they did in the TV series was like way better than the comics version. So it depends, right? It depends on how things are adapted. And I agree with you. Let's hope that the TV series version is better for New World Order and for these different communities than the comic version was, because the comic version was not that great after Whisperer War. Maybe not the strongest stuff of the entire series, I'd say. And certainly the ending with Rick and what happened with him and Dwight could have probably been done a lot better, I think. He'd have done better stuff than that before. Like, you'd at least expect to see something like an all-out war for Rick's ending or something like that, but that wasn't we saw something more similar to something like a Game of Thrones, I want to say, with assassinations and stuff like this. So, but if you look at the TV series, like how they handled Alpha and her kind of ending there with Negan, I thought that was awesome, better than the comic version. So let's give him a shot, and I think it'll be good either way. I really do. Plus, it's going to be so much different than the comic version because Rick's not even there, and you have all this other stuff happening. So I think it'll be pretty good. Skylar Bowers says, Q&A, do you think Maggie is from another community? Because if she's from the Commonwealth, don't you think Stephanie would know about Eugene and her heroes already? Yeah. I agree 100%, Skylar, on all points. I think that it makes more sense for Maggie to be from a different community. I think it'd make less sense if Maggie was in the same community as Stephanie is. So I think they're separate. So I think we have three going. We have Commonwealth, Georgie's community with Maggie, and then we have did I say CRM? CRM, Commonwealth, and Maggie's community, right? So that's three different separate communities, I would say, for now. I think we can pretty much agree or confirm that right now. Bear says that Virgil needs to prove himself big time to be accepted. So, yeah, I agree. Someone did bring up that maybe they can, bring Virgil back a bit or make it so that we actually like Virgil, because in The Walking Dead, earlier on in the Walking Dead series, everybody hated Gabriel. And then later on, Gabriel became very, very popular. So we could see something like that with Virgil, maybe. Penny Packer says, Trev, I was walking my hamster last night when I ran into Gimple, and he confirmed season 10 will be the epic musical episode he talked about doing all last year. So I don't know about this musical thing, guys. I don't know how they're going to do this. They're going to do it in Fear, okay? I don't know what the industry deal is with musicals. I know they did one in Buffy. It was amazing in Buffy. I also like the Silence episode. Does it necessarily work for a Walking Dead TV series? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Does it? Does it? I don't know. Not that I would like to see, I guess, the Fear team serenade us. I don't know. Or the original Walking Dead team do it, I don't know what to say about the musical thing. Maybe it could be okay if they do it. This is probably like one of those weird industry secrets, like where they demasculinize all the black guys and make them all wear like the Rock wear Tooth Fairy and shit like this, dresses and shit. I think Dave Chappelle did a bit on that where he talked about how they always make the African American guys dress and drag and shit like this. It's like this weird industry thing they just do. I don't know why. So let's see this musical thing if that's if that's like one of those industry things they have to do after a certain amount of episodes. I don't know. How are they going to do that with Walking Dead though? Like, it makes sense for Buffy because you have magic and stuff, but how does it make sense for Walking Dead? This could get ridiculous, right? This could get totally ridiculous. And we'll end things off with Chigs, 58, who said, and a lot of people thumbed up, he said, Trev, after this, they're never going to allow you on Talking Dead. So after the David Icke video, where I gave my thoughts on David Icke and London Real and his video getting scrubbed from YouTube. And I found out today that it was on the front page of BBC, I think. So the smear campaign is going to start for David, right? So as would be expected. So for Chigs, yeah, I mean, that's not, I think I've replied to you there too. That's not really something I'm really campaigning for or interested in. I support Talking Dead. I'm happy that they're still able to do it after this many seasons. I looked it up. I guess about 1 million or 1.5 million people watch each episode of Talking Dead. So that's cool. That's good for them. I'm happy for them that they can continue to do it and it's still a show and everything. And they do it sometimes for Fear. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? Because that's less. That's only like 500,000 views per episode or a little less, that type of thing. So, I like the heart thing that they did. I did that, last week or something. So that was kind of cool. I saw that in their YouTube channel and that kind of thing. For Chigs, I'm not gonna sell out like that. I'm not gonna compromise who I am to try to, be an agreeable corporate guy. Okay, here's the deal. If I was an agreeable corporate guy, and I am a corporate guy to a degree, I'm just a disagreeable one that's lucky enough that I haven't gotten fired yet. That's all. For being too much of a pain in the ass. So I mostly be quiet at my job. That's how I survive over the years. I just say, oh yeah, okay, well, let's do that. Keep my thoughts to myself for the most part, and just appreciate that I even have a job at all right after 13 years. But if I was like that, if I was, somebody like that where I was really seeking approval and I was really highly, highly agreeable and really, reaching out for acceptance and that kind of stuff, then I wouldn't be me. That's not who I am, and I would never have started this YouTube channel. Because remember, and I go over this all the freaking time, people don't get it, and I say it over and over again. 10 years ago, guys, YouTube was empty. There was nothing here. There was nobody here. And I started a YouTube channel. So that's a disagreeable. Kirkman is a good example. I like to bring Kirkman up sometimes. That's a disagreeable person from the start to start a YouTube channel. Nowadays, it's more accepted. It's like, okay, cool, you're a YouTuber. It's become agreeable over time in terms of personality characteristic traits and psychometrics. It was not agreeable to do 10 or 15 years ago because nobody was doing it. It only becomes agreeable once other people do it. It's like, oh, that's okay to do, and then you sheeple along and you follow the herd, right? That's what agreeability is all about. Kirkman is a good example of someone who's disagreeable. Kirkman actually did work for Marvel before I think he started Walking Dead and he started Invincible and that. Or at least he did do a stint with Marvel for a bit. And before he went to, he did Skybound and he did his own thing. Ending off a series without telling anybody you're going to end it off is an extremely disagreeable thing to do. Cutting off your superhero, your lead man's hand is an extremely disagreeable thing to do. Killing your superhero's wife off is an extremely disagreeable thing to do. So Kirkman is a very disagreeable type of person from what, at least from the content that I would say, I would derive from his decision logic, his decision tree logic, that he's got to be at least, partially disagreeable, maybe even more disagreeable than I am. So that's a lot of entrepreneurs are like that. A lot of entrepreneurs are very disagreeable, and that's just how they are. And I apologize, man. I'm sorry. I'm not that's Chigs. It's not who I am. I'm not campaigning to be accepted by either Talking Dead or AMC or anybody else. I appreciate that sometimes they take ideas from me. I appreciate that they take feedback from me sometimes, and that I can reach out there and have an impact on the world with you guys and do that. But I'm not going to hinder or reduce my level of honesty or my level of I'm not gonna hold back opinions, and I'm not gonna if Fear in season 5 near the finale does one of the worst episodes ever, I'm not gonna soften that and say that okay, it was a good episode, even though it clearly wasn't, right? I'm not gonna sell out like that and start being like, and try to sell you guys on something to be dishonest to you guys when I don't feel that's the truth of what I'm actually discussing. I'm not going to pump, review scores up higher than I think they should be based on the series because I want to be accepted or because I want to get in AMC's good graces or limit my free speech in order to agreeably please others. There's your long-winded answer, Chigs. I hope you guys liked today's video. There it is. Thumb the video up below. Share, favorite it. Leave me comments. How are you guys doing? How's everything going? And we'll probably do another video on COVID starting to slow down, which is great news for all of us. And a little bit of celebration is probably due for that, but not too much because we don't want to start ramping up again. And I'll see you guys back in soon for another video. Trev, saying peace later, guys. See you soon.